Give me that.
Crypto Quickie.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy KJ here. And man, I'm back. I am back. I'm doing YouTube. I'm feeling it. It's an exciting time, man. It's an exciting time to be in any market. It's an exciting time to be alive. This is some shit that we've never seen before. As far as coronavirus, all the different things happening. And, you know, the last iteration of my YouTube channel, I've been very TA focused, heavy. We talked about BTC, altcoins, stocks, everything. And if you follow me on Twitter, obviously I still do that pretty actively. I've given out plenty of great signals. No lack of that. But I took a break from YouTube and I found that now is the time to come back. It was like I was getting tired of doing it. I felt like I was just going through the motions. And I was lacking that inspiration. And you know what? I actually wrote an article recently on the blog, on my website at kjcryptodojo.com, kind of comparing 2017, 16 to where we are now. So if you didn't read that, definitely go hit up the website, check that out. It's not too heavy, it's short, but you know, from somebody that got into 2017 at the beginnings of one of the greatest bull markets of all time, and was able to ride that wave and experience it and then stick around through the bear market, kind of realize what this whole game is all about. I do have some knowledge that some of these other YouTubers that are kind of new, they've only experienced certain things. And now that I compare what that was versus what we're kind of going into now, it seems like the perfect time for myself to return, because truth be told, I think this is the time for somebody like the people that have followed me, you know the whole story, but there may be somebody watching this right now that's never seen this guy, or who the fuck is this guy? You know, I've never heard of him. He's not Chico Crypto or whoever's doing it now. Yeah, man, like, do your homework. I did this. I didn't stop. And I was one of the people that got in 17 and kind of blew up really quick with the bull market and was able to do really, really well in a short period of time. And I'm starting to see kind of those same things, the same type of behaviors, the same, frankly, like, sentiment around this market that is leading me to believe that this is the perfect time for someone that's never bought Bitcoin or crypto or anything to kind of start to get involved. Like, you don't need to, and when I say that, I don't mean go all in, you know, and spend all your money right now, but start to do your research. Start to learn about some TA and stuff. And one of the things that when I got in, had I known the past and the history of these markets as well as others, because when you think about it, every market is all played by people and people will behave the same way. You know, had I came equipped with that knowledge going into it, I would have done even better. So it's very important not to just use this as a gambling mechanism. Use this as a way to change your life, because truth be told, this game of crypto and altcoins, especially what I'm seeing right now, does have the potential. I'm living proof. It has the potential to change your life in a matter of months. I was working in corporate dentistry. I was in dental office management for 15 years. I bought my first Bitcoin. Within 3 months, I quit my corporate job. I was managing 11 dental offices. I quit the job flat. And, you know, in a matter of months, my whole life had changed. I'm traveling across the world. I'm doing YouTube videos. This shit can happen super, super quick for you. So if you're somebody that's got this dream of doing something different and, you know, getting out there, if you want to make YouTube videos, go for it. Nothing is stopping you. Like, literally, that was always something that I would tell my people in my group. Like, if I inspire somebody to kind of like do their own thing, you know, then I've done my job. That's always been what I want. I'm not a hater. I like to see other people do well too. You know, there are some people that are so competitive. Like, I'm competitive. I want to be the best at everything. But at the same time, I'm a connoisseur of excellence. I like to see people work hard and accomplish their goals. So, you know, you got the YouTube game and you got crypto trading. These are two things that if you put your mind to it, you can do well. And let's kind of discuss what I'm talking about as far as why the timing is right now. So what I have behind me here is this is the Bitcoin daily chart. This box here is significant because we have this, it's a very simple trend line, okay? You have the top from 2017, then you have the 2019 pump to 14K. This one and this one, the double top here at 10.5 area, or actually rather this one and this one, 10.5, that's obviously a key resistance. We weren't able to get through, and we went to about $10,070, somewhere in that range. And now we're doing this shockwave price action that's just chopping the market up. And typically when you have a larger wave like this that's getting it is volatile because we're between 8K and 10K. It's a $2,000 range. This is ready to make a move. And if this were to break through this trend line, and which keeps getting lower as the time passes, now we're looking at a whole new cycle. Obviously, from the low here, the price action is in a bull trend. So personally, I would say if we were to get above 10K again, I'm looking anywhere between 12K and 17K like this year. I think it could happen extremely fast. And, with that comes a whole new level of excitement. I found myself saying things like, I couldn't imagine people buying altcoins again, or I couldn't imagine people falling for something like BitConnect again. But then you have a Ponzi like Hex, which, it performed. People did 30x and better on that. Literally 30 times your money. So if you put $100 in, you walked away with $3,000 potentially if you sold. You got to remember to sell. That's key. But, that type of excitement, something like Unibright, right? This sat here and did nothing for probably a year at around 2 cents a token. And then between January and May, and we're talking 5 months, it went from 2 cents to 56 cents. So we're talking over 25x. So all it takes is one of these plays. I don't know what your capital is or what that is, but from somebody that was around in 2017, it doesn't take a crazy amount of money to literally change your life. Like, for instance, I know people, and I could speak for myself as well, that started off with very limited amounts of money. Some people started with $1,000. I know a guy that started with $75, and he ended up with 7 figures. So that's real. Like, you can do that. So if you think of it this way, you put like $1,000 in, or not even 1,000. You put, let's say, 500 or $100. You do a 25x. You now have 2,500. Then you take that 2,500. You put it into 3-4 different coins. One of them does a 20x. Like, before you know it, you're looking at a 5-figure portfolio. And then you're one play away from, 6 figures. And if you learn something, if you're not just getting lucky and kind of doing it randomly, you can kind of repeat this until the trend changes. And that's kind of like the experience and knowledge that I'm bringing to the table now as somebody that's been through it and seen it, so that when it's time to sell, we're not going to get caught holding anything for a 90% loss again. That's not happening. It just won't happen. You have to learn to use stop losses. So, as I do more videos, I'll kind of get into different strategies and concepts of like how you can protect yourself. And, the stuff that I do, I'm going to talk about what's current. I'll talk about altcoins that I think look good at the time. I'll talk about BTC. I'll talk about stocks. But I also feel like it's like my duty to kind of help the new people not get destroyed this time around, because that's the worst thing. These new people coming into YouTube, that's the one thing you need to understand, is that there is a responsibility. Even though this is not financial advice, some people will listen to you, and you can't control it. You tell them to be responsible and do things, but people will take crazy risks and do degenerate things, and then they're going to come back looking for you. They're going to blame you for every mistake that they made. And at the end of the day, I need to be able to sleep at night. So when I do these videos, my goal is not to kind of like get everybody excited about one coin or per se. I want to kind of help you guys find them on your own, but at the same time, give you some direction on what to look for. So we looked at BTC. Obviously, this area, it's going to be very very critical how this resolves. I would say 10K is kind of like that line at this point. You know, back over 10K, I don't think it's stopping for a while, and it's going to move quickly. Let's look at a lower time frame, 4 hour. I mean, it's a nice uptrend here. That being said, I've seen moves where basically the bottom line is if BTC can get to like maybe 9,800, and if it stalls there, that's pretty bad. I think there would be a good chance that this low gets taken out, and then we gotta have to go sideways before we actually end up breaking the 10K. But we'll take that one day at a time. As of right now, this looks fine. I would watch out for the 97, 9,800 area. That's like 9,800. That's an area where I want to see what it does. So moving on, total market cap. This is everything. As you can see, kind of similar to BTC, you have an uptrend off the low from the Corona dump and a shockwave developing here. Same concept. If BTC breaks out, obviously this is going to break out. Pretty simple stuff. This is where it gets exciting. We have the altcoin market cap. So this box here, even though it doesn't look like much, is actually a very significant level. It's around 90 million, or 90 billion, I'm sorry. And this, you have a similar kind of price action wave, but the majority of this is pressing at this resistance here. So you have, this was kind of the dead cat bounce that then led to 57. You had a crazy pump. This was earlier this year. Then you have the major dump. I mean, it hit 44. And you have to understand also, take these numbers with a grain of salt, because it's just aggregating the total market cap off of Coin Market Cap. And some of these coins have no liquidity whatsoever. So it's not completely accurate, but you can TA this. And just like Bitcoin, it's been in an uptrend. Now we have a similar shockwave. This one happens to be looking a little bit more bullish to me. You keep getting a lot of hits against that resistance there. Eventually that can break. Bitcoin just needs to break out to the upside. And the last chart is Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is giving you the strength of Bitcoin versus the rest of the market. How strong is it? A strong Bitcoin, it can be good, it can be bad. But if you're playing altcoins and Bitcoin is strong and crushing everything, you don't want to be in altcoins, because you're going to end up in USD, which is actually a pretty exciting concept. Like, I remember in 2017 when there were times where people were actually making USD dollars, like your portfolio numbers were going up, but you were actually losing Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was going up so much faster than your altcoins that the value of your altcoin was worth less Bitcoin. So at the end of the day, people was kind of like a consolation prize, where they would say, hey, well, at least I'm up in USD. But the reality was, had they just had Bitcoin, they would have had more USD. So you want to pay attention to this one. What we have here was kind of like an Adam and Eve top, where you have the low, or the high rather, and then a lower high. Then you get a dump. 60% approximately is kind of like that area that it was like, I was looking at that like, wow, if it goes below 60, like it's legit alt season. Like alts are going to go off. And it got rejected there. And you had this crazy fake out. I'm not certain what caused this candle, to be honest. Probably the Bitcoin pump from like 73 to 96 or to 10K. I believe that's what that was. And this is kind of like a fake out, because it's now being rejected. This line here was something that I've been watching since, I think I did this chart like in January. So I've been watching this. Originally it was a rejection, went above. It got some price action below. We get the fake out above now, and now it's testing it again. We want to see dominance keep going down here. If dominance goes below 61%, or I would say 60%, like legit, like the type of gains you're going to see is going to be insane. So the bottom line is, in 2017, what got me into Bitcoin was I had just watched The Big Short. And if you haven't seen the movie, definitely check it out. But that kind of covers the banking crisis of 2008, covers it pretty well. And, you know, you're looking at kind of like bankers that are becoming rich, crashing the economy, and then getting a bailout from the government, from the taxpayers, where nobody went to jail. And for people that were around that time, I mean, it was scary. People lost their jobs. We didn't know what was going to happen. And that was really kind of like the bottom. If you had started buying stocks right around there, you would have done extremely well. I mean, it's been one of the craziest bull runs of all time. So like, I'll just pull up the S&P right now. But like, when you think about what Corona was as an event, so 2008, this is the crash, the banking collapse. You get the low, makes a low around 663, and you know, we have a current high of almost 3,400. It never looked back. It just kept going for 12 years, 11 years. And then you have another violent crash, and we're already bouncing out of it. So I don't think we're completely out of the woods yet. However, the government is printing, or not the government, you might as well call it the government, but the Fed is printing money like we've never seen before. And smart money doesn't want to hold dollars that are going to continually be devalued by excessive printing. So they're going to look to park that money somewhere that's going to maintain value. And this crash was the perfect opportunity for savvy investors to kind of get back in after they had already sold. You got to understand, people with a lot of money know what's coming. They know what's coming before you do. So the bottom line is, as the Fed prints trillions of dollars, people with some sense are going to, instead of hold that cash, buy stuff with it. And clearly there is a correlation, because this is the S&P index, look at that, right? And then we look at Bitcoin. People are taking risk. It's the same thing, a bullish recovery. So I was very doubtful at first, but once it kind of got into here, once it broke, when we went to like 7K twice, dumped here, I thought we were going to go back down. We didn't. We bounced off 5,800. We started to make this shockwave here, and I'm like, you know what, this is not going to stop. You know, at the end of the day, if we keep going above 6K, like, this is pretty bullish. And sure enough, we broke out. So at the end of the day, the trend is your friend. You have to be willing to follow it, even if it doesn't make sense to you. And hey, like, this is the time to start to learn about this. If you know about crypto, if you know about Bitcoin, then, you know, you already know the game. I'm telling you right now from me, like, start paying attention now. It doesn't mean buy this second, but there are a lot of altcoin charts that are like on the verge of looking mega bullish. So, you know, even if the overall market fluctuates and it pulls back, at this point, I think that there's enough there for people that are smart and willing to work hard, and do the research, kind of see what's the new hot coin. Like, for instance, there's something called Uniswap, which one of my partners in the dojo, Stillman, who's like one of the best analysts I know, he wrote a whole article on Uniswap, which completely reminded us of 2017 Ether Delta. Yes, did I pronounce that right? Ether Delta. So this was a decentralized exchange where coins were literally doing 1,000% gains in a day. It's extremely illiquid. You can lose all your money. It's risky, but, you know, there are crazy gains being made on this decentralized exchange called Uniswap. So if you're interested in that, also I'll share the link with you, but I would read that if I were you. Like, basically, Ether Delta was like this extremely hard to use, clunky, decentralized exchange. And for a good few months, people were doing like crazy gains on this exchange. I'm talking like more than 10x, even more. And most people weren't using it because it was like we were too lazy to learn how to use it. It was confusing. But like it wasn't that confusing. You know, if you mean to say like if you can make 1,000% of your money right now, you're not going to learn how to use this thing? Like, yeah. So eventually one of my friends was like, yo, you got to get on this. So I took the time. It didn't take too long, and I learned how to use it. And, you know, we were making crazy gains. And then once everybody started to use it, it was kind of over. So like Uniswap right now is a place that not many people are using and not many people know about. So I'm sharing that with you. I'm not going to tell you what coins to buy or whatever, but definitely I would recommend checking that out and learning how to use it. Like I said, at kjcryptodojo.com, Stillman wrote a pretty dope article, kind of gives you the in and outs of how it works. So definitely check that out. Yeah, I didn't want to really get into too much. It was just more of a general video to let you know what to expect in the future, because I'm going to be doing a bunch of content. You follow me on Twitter, Korean Jew Crypto. I'm going to do Periscopes, try to get you at least like 2 or 3 of those a week. And I'm back in the game like full force, you know, kind of like Mike Tyson inspired me a lot when this guy's coming back to box and he's like, I'm back. And I felt like, damn, I got to do YouTube again. Like, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I was just kind of like speaking from the heart here, no real script or anything like that. But, you know, if you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. If you're interested to know more about what we do in the dojo, which is a private group that we run, been open for almost 3 years now, so obviously we know a thing or two. Definitely hit that website up, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care and happy trading.